Sorry everybody, I kind of snapped there. I went on a Picasso rant. And also the camera battery died, so I wasn't exactly able to complete my film review in the car. However, sleeping on it and having a few people ask me how the movie went, also watching a few other people's movie reviews, my opinion has changed slightly on the matter. Now, if you're someone like me, someone who's studied art history, and you know the story of the Monuments Men, you know the story of Kate Blanchett's character Claire, you know everything they went through, and you're familiar with the background of the characters, one, the background of the characters, two, the importance of what happened in World War II for this, you I'm not going to say you're going to enjoy the movie. I'd say you're going to find it interesting. I found the movie interesting at many times. I found it was able to suck me in and hold me at certain points. But looking at this in terms of the average Joe who either might say, well, what's the importance of art, or somebody who might be familiar with some works of certain artists and is going to see this movie, they're like, oh, here's a movie about World War II and some art. You're not going to enjoy this. My mother asked me this morning when I came downstairs, she's like, oh, so you went to see that movie yesterday night. How was it? I said, they took a great story and they turned it into a good story. It is a good story. They have enough humor in it to break up the tense moments. They have enough scenes in it that remind you that they're at war, but at no point does the film ever actually feel serious enough. First of all, there is no actual villain, and I think the problem is the movie is trying to stay true to the story, while at the same time trying to make this into a theatrical version. If someone said, give me a summary of what the real story of the Monuments Men was, I'd say, well, it was 40 volunteers that started as 6, who went throughout Europe, starting in Italy and then going through France, either rescuing stolen artwork from the Germans or protecting artwork from being destroyed by the American and Allied forces or the Russian forces. And that's basically the general story that you get in Monuments Men. They didn't expand on it that particular much. As I said, if I wanted to watch a documentary on art, I'm just restarting this review. I'm going to put the first review at the end of this so that you can see what my raw reaction was. Just the art lover in me, but as a film critic going at this now, if I wanted to see a documentary on what happened to art during World War II, what the Germans did with it, how it was recovered, where it went, I would watch The Rape of Europa, because that is a well-made that is a well-invested 3 hours. You see many pieces of artwork that have never been recovered, like the Peter or Raphael's Young Man, which I still believe is out there somewhere. You can't tell me that there is not a mine or two, or someone in Asia who owns it, or a Swiss vault somewhere where that painting does not exist. I'm sure it will be found someday. At the same time, if I want to watch a tense struggle on how to get this art back, I'd watch The Train with Burt Lancaster. This movie falls somewhere in the middle of that, and as such it suffers for it because they're not documenting what was stolen. And the movie doesn't take the chance of really being intense. This movie is a love letter to what the Monuments Men did. It's basically trying to say, listen, we have art because these people went and saved it for us. But it doesn't do a good enough job. I mean, I think The Train does a far better job than that. This isn't an art movie. This isn't a World War II movie. As a drama, it's okay. It has some very poignant moments in it, though. It feels like there's a good movie underneath this. I think that with a little more effort put into it, it could have been really, really good, because you have some really poignant scenes, like when they're documenting the art that was there, and Matt Damon, who looks like Mark Wahlberg in this. Why? Don't ask me. But Matt Damon, he's looking at the art and he goes, "Wow, Hitler really wanted it all." Yeah, yeah, he did. And then there's other moments where you have things like the burning of Raphael's young man, and they're sorting through all the ashes, and they come upon this one piece of a frame that has Pablo Picasso's nameplate on it, and it really hammers home, wow, what we do have is precious. For someone like me, it really hammers that point home. For somebody who is not familiar, they're going to go, okay, so this scene is kind of pointless. And poor Kate Blanchett's character as Claire. There's a saying that says, no good deed goes unpunished, and for Claire, who is really the reason that most of the private collections, or I shouldn't say most, I should say some of the private collections of this great, great artwork actually managed to be found and brought back. They turned her into, I'm sorry, but there's no other, they turned her into a complete bitch towards Matt Damon's character, which is, it's, for a movie that seems to be trying to stay true to form to the story, it just takes a complete deviation at that point, simply for the sake of having to make some kind of strange pseudo-romance between Matt Damon characters and Kate Blanchett's character. And they really muck up the story. I mean, originally I was thinking, you know what, for a Hollywood adaptation, this is not that bad. But then, I mean, they've got to change some things, but I don't know why it is. What is it that makes that either producers or writers or whoever it is that does this, why do they see every female character in a movie needs to hook up with a male character? I mean, can't we have our movie, any movie? Can't we have any movie where you just have a strong female character standing on their own? I mean, for God's sakes, the only movie that did that last year was fucking Pacific Rim, and that is a punch-out action movie drama with so many plot holes that oh god. But still, it's a great movie, and honestly, it does the trope of a man and a woman working together without having to be romantically interested in each other much better than this movie does. Poor Claire. She's probably, for a woman who has no place in a history book, considering that she saved so much artwork during the German theft. It is a disservice. It is a complete disservice to her character and to what she stood for. Because when the Monuments Men rolled into Paris, she was the first one there. She's like, hey, I got this black little notebook that has everything in it. The Germans didn't notice. Here, take it. Go get our artwork back. I don't know. It does have a lot of poignant scenes in it, though. Like, there's a scene with Bill Murray. He's in the shower. His friend goes and plays a trick on him by playing this what's it called? LP. He plays an LP of his granddaughter and his daughter singing "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas" to him while the war is going on. The movie takes very great pains to remind you that the war is going on in a story that really doesn't have that much to do with the fighting in the war. I mean, you see the Monuments Men get shot at. You see the Monuments Men get killed, which, yeah, they were willing to get killed for the art. Great. But it almost serves no purpose. I mean, I was watching something on Points of No Return with movies, like what things movies have to have. I mean, they've got Lord, oh, what's his name? The one who plays the Lord in Downton Abbey, the father. So Lord Downton, I'm just gonna call him Lord Downton. They have Lord Downton get shot over Michelangelo's Madonna and Child of Bruges, and you know what? If they had, he literally dies off camera. Like, he cocks his gun, the German officer goes over, he shoots the guy in the arm. Why he didn't fire his gun more than once, I don't know. The officer goes shies and shoots him twice before walking off. With the statue, you just see him lying there dying. I mean, if you're gonna go that route and you're gonna use that as your point of no return, show him die on camera. Show that he's willing to fight for this. Don't just make it this one shot pow. Oh, I missed. Bang bang. Oh, he's dead. So the movie didn't take so to summarize this review, the movie didn't take enough chances in order to try to stay true enough to the story, which essentially ruined the story. That's the basics of it. That's my review, guys. If you really are an art person and you know the story of the Monuments Men, watch The Rape of Europa, because that is more true to form than this movie. I mean, when I did watch The Rape of Europa, in the third part, when they're talking about the Monuments Men, what they did and what they had to go through it in order to try and save the artwork, I originally said, hey, you know what? I would love to see this as a movie. Monuments Men comes out, and oh gosh, interesting but not enthralling. I would say either rent this movie and watch it at home as just a quick throwaway movie, or hopefully this is what happens. Someone will take the movie and just take all the best scenes out of it, stick them together, put them on YouTube, watch that, because as much as I love George Clooney, he's a fantastic actor. I will never get over his performance in Intolerable Cruelty. He could have done so much better. I mean, the movie ends, and I hate to give away the ending like this, but there's really no point, because everyone's saying don't go see this movie, so whatever. The movie ends with the president's man basically asks, I guess he's like the Secretary of War, he's basically asking, was it worth it to save the art? And I guess that's for the people who aren't into art who are watching this movie. I don't know what people who aren't into art are going to go see a movie about trying to save art. But really, if by the end of 2 hours your movie hasn't expressed what the point of saving the art was, you've missed it. You've missed it. I'm sorry, but you missed it. I like this movie. I really do. I think it's a great concept. And if you want to go see a great concept, go see this. But other than that, somebody call me. We could remake this, and I'm sure we could do it a lot better. We could show Italy. We could show how we could show the devastation of Florence. I mean, the bombing of Florence in this movie, and I have to say, and this is just the art person me coming out. So, like, favorite, subscribe, click away, whatever. But the bombing of Florence. They have to understand, Florence, Italy contains. Now think about this: of the entire Earth, the entire circumference of the Earth, North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, and Australia. The Italian boot contains 15% of the entire world's artwork. Think about that for a second. Of the entire world, 15% of the world's artwork is held in Italy. Florence, the city of Florence, makes up 10% of that. with its sculptures, its murals, its tapestries, with its paintings, everything that is inside that city. That city is literally 10% of the world's artwork. And when the Germans left that city, you want to know what they did? They drilled. Michelangelo built a bunch of bridges over the Ponte. Oh, and and when I say he built them, I mean he built them. Michelangelo built these bridges. The Germans drilled holes into these bridges, and it took them 3 attempts. Every time they tried to blow it up, the bridge would not blow up, which is just a testament to how brilliant Michelangelo was as an architect. But after 3 tries, they finally did manage to blow it up, and the resulting shockwave caused a lot of the old towers of Florence to fall. The city was literally devastated. They wrote in the papers, "Old Florence is no more." And and there's other things, like everyone knows the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Pisa was never famous for the Leaning Tower. Pisa was actually famous for its great mausoleum, where lots and lots of great frescoes by all the great artists were placed. And when that city was bombed, the roof caught fire and lead basically melted down over all of the frescoes and basically caused them to fragment into little pieces and fall to the ground. And up to this day, they're still cleaning and putting those little pieces back together, trying desperately to restore this thing. Think about that. 70 years have passed. They're still trying to fix what the Nazis ruined. That is powerful, powerful stuff. And the fact that we were not presented with any of that just makes this... I don't know what to say. I don't have anything left to say. This movie is... I've rated it 7 out of 10 before. I'd probably be more comfortable saying 6. Go see it. Don't go see it. Whatever. I've got to review the Lego Movie at any point. So this has been my review. Good evening, everyone. It's me, the Technical Critic. I have just gotten back from Monumental, and I have to say I am so sorry I have not put out anything in a couple weeks. But literally, nothing has been happening, and how do I put this? I haven't had any really good creative ideas. So, but I said, you know what? There's a couple good movies coming out. Let me see if I can get to them. Oh, fuck, it's cold. It is like minus 11 outside. I don't know how people do this. But, so yeah, I just went to go see George Clooney's Monuments Men. And I have to say, it was an okay movie. I don't think it's worth seeing in the theaters, but it was a fairly okay movie. I went into this expecting it to flop, simply because, one, we're in the middle of February, which is basically when all the movies that you don't want anybody to see, you release. 2, it's a story about art and the people who went to rescue it. And I can't see that appealing to a lot of people, but my God, this is a very good movie. Now I have to say, I didn't exactly know what I wanted to see when I went into this movie, because if I wanted to see a documentary about the artwork that was stolen by Adolf Hitler, I'd see The Rape of Europa. And if I wanted to see a desperate struggle to save significant pieces of artwork, I would have gone and I would have seen Burt Lancaster's The Train. And this movie really was about the Monuments Men and what they were doing. It wasn't about the art. It was really about them and the way that they present. This movie really gives you just a lot more reasons to hate Nazis. I mean, yeah, we hate Nazis as a culture historically, but it really went in depth to show you the lengths they went to. I mean, the burning of Raphael's young man, which I still believe is out there in a mine somewhere. I guarantee you that that picture is going to turn up, and this movie is going to look so bad because, like, oh no, we said that painting was burnt. But they really did say, listen, this is important. You have to get this art back, and it was. They covered the mission. They covered the mission of what the Monuments Men were supposed to go and do. I think they've treated the American Army a little bit unfairly because they basically show them like not liking art. There's literally one scene where he's like, "Listen, where the Army commander like, listen, if you're telling me that I gotta choose between somebody's life, the life of a kid, and a church tower, I'm blowing up that fucking church tower." And you can see where he's coming from. But really and truly, in reality, and again, I didn't expect this to be a documentary on the Monuments Men, but even Eisenhower recognized the importance of the art, and he said, "Listen, preserve what you can." Uh-oh. Went dark. So, I honestly thought they're going to focus a lot more on Italy, because that's where the Monuments Men really shone. With like the bombing of Florence, the precision bombing of Florence and all that. I'm going to ramble into a lot of art history, so please bear with me. But I promise, I'm talking about the movie. Because when they start the movie off, they start off saying, well, are we going to make sure that the David and the Madonna are still there? And it's like, okay, well, are they going into Italy? And then cut to France. And speaking of France, poor Claire Beaumont. You know, they say that no good deed goes unpunished, and that is especially true with this movie. They set her up as more of a bitch than she really was. Historically, the woman is, yes, she is a lover of art. She did document all of these things, and it went through, yes, here's the journal, here's all the stuff that she went through, here's where the art was sent. She documented, she had receipts, train sketch, you name it, she had it. And they do show that in the end. But they basically take Mark Wahlberg, who is playing like this art student slash... not art student. He's the curator of the Metropolitan Museum in New York. That's who he's playing. And they basically put him in a uniform. They take all these artists, they put them in uniforms, and they're like, go to the middle of a war zone and save art. Which is basically what happened. And, well, Bill Murray, let's go through the actors. Bill Murray, really good emotional performance. His humor was spot on. Not Benny Goodman. What's his name? I just had it in my head. Oh god. They had a lot of comedians in this, and they had I have to say this. The movie was not very action filled. If you're going to see this as a war piece, don't. If you're going to see this as an art piece, don't. This is a movie about people. It's about the Monuments Men. It's about what they went through trying to get this art back. There's sometimes the movie can feel slow, mostly because they're doing either a lot of verbal exposition or they're just showing too many get to know you scenes. But there are a lot of very poignant moments in this movie looking back on it. If I had to rate this out of 10, I'd say it's a 7. I'd say this is, if you really want to go see this movie, go see this movie. It's not going to turn into a classic, I don't think, but I do think that this is worth watching. And I think for the story they're telling, yeah, they mucked it up a little bit, but it's a Hollywood adaptation. What are you going to do? So yeah, that's my review. Go see Monuments Men. It is probably one of the better dramas that you're going to see this month. Tomorrow, the Lego movie comes out, so I get to go watch that. Hopefully I can rope somebody into coming with me, because going to a movie theater by yourself is the saddest thing ever, and unfortunately, I couldn't have anyone come and see this movie with me, so... I mean, come on, who refuses free popcorn and a seat in a 2-hour movie? But, yeah, I think they had This was a love letter. This was a love letter to both to the artwork that was lost and to the men who tried to save it. And I really do appreciate this movie. There's a scene where they show them burning artwork and they find the burnt frame of a Picasso. And regular people are probably not going to get this, but for someone like me, someone who's studied art, to see the burnt frame of a Picasso, it really hammers home the value of what we have now, what was saved, and again, it really shows. I don't know how to put this, but there's a Picasso painting that was sold by Christie's for $10 million. And the asshole who bought it put his elbow through the fucking painting. It's a Picasso. These things were burned in World War II. Have some fucking respect. You don't go and wildly wave your arms around like an idiot. So, and that's not even the worst part. The worst part is, they repaired the fucking thing, and you can totally see where the gigantic hole is in it. It's like, God, do you not know how lucky we are to have some of this stuff? Raphael's young man is still fucking missing. Tens of thousands of paintings are still fucking missing. Some of them are at the bottom of the ocean. And yes, I know. For somebody who's like, you know what, if they are at the bottom of the ocean, we do find those U-boats that they sank in, you know they're completely destroyed.